Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another free webinar organized by Pick a Course. My name is Prashant Costa, and I'm the founder of Pick a Course. Pick a Course is a platform dedicated for learning. So we do provide content with regards to learning and education in the forms of webinars. We do have our website on www.pickacourse.lk. This is our website. Anyone can go to this website and search for courses offered by many of the institutes in Sri Lanka, as well as we have Pick a Course Academy, offering courses such as finance or non-finance, brand management, data analysis, few of the English courses, as well as we have two courses or workshops rather happening during this month. We have one on digital hacks or LinkedIn tips on LinkedIn, how for job seekers, as well as we have professional email writing course coming up again in in the month of September. This as well as LinkedIn hacks, or basically digital fast hacks to get employed. LinkedIn tips and tricks from Shaturika Javadhan. Of course, you're here today to listen to Eranga Mendis on creativity. So without taking much of your time, let me introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Eranga Mendis. He's a creative technologist. He's the creative lead at Viral Pool, as well as he's been a creative consultant for few of the many of the industries in Sri Lanka and international as well. So welcome, Eranga, to PC Chats, and I hope that you will enlighten our audience on this wonderful area where we are curious to know about this creativity. Title for the session is Curiosity to Creativity. So all over to you, Eranga, to enlighten us.
Yes, thank you, Prashant. So first of all, thank you everyone who is participating right now, even during the finals. So I know everyone wants to go to the finals. So I hope this session will be a very inspiring, and you will learn something from this. So first of all, I would like to thank Prashant for giving me this opportunity. And so let's go straight to the webinar. Okay. I hope everyone can see this. Prashant?
I can see, Eranga.
Okay, great. So the topic here is curiosity to creativity. And in a normal webinar, it's all about people talking about the related topic, and at the last, they can ask questions. But I thought, let's give it a twist, right? So this is going to be very interactive. So I want everyone to participate in this whole webinar. So curiosity, the first thing when we talk about curiosity, it's about asking questions. So here I will be asking you questions. So and with that, I hope it will be very interactive. Okay. So curiosity to creativity. if you look at this first screen itself, I have done something to one of the letters purposely. I have manipulated one letter. Can someone tell me what that is? You can either switch on the mic or you can just type in the chat box. Anyone is free to go. Prashant, what about you?
Yeah, well, let's hear it out from the audience. I see the eye being twisted a little because the fourth eye versus the third eye from the right. So it's more of a T, compare with the I and the T. There's a bit of a twist there. I'm just looking at the other letters as well, but would love to hear from the audience as well, Eranga.
Yeah. Any answers getting from the chat? All right. Guys, you need to speak up. I mean, this is all about to get the creativity. You have to, you have to be curious as to. So I hope the next slide you will be much more cooperative. Anyway, yeah. So Prashant is right. That's what I did. So if you look at the yeah. So if you look at the first eye that is coming on the curiosity, and the after the S, the other eye, I have actually twisted the second eye, the letter I. And also there is another some sort of a thing I have done. So if you look at creativity word, the letter I that is coming after T, it is a little bit shorter. And then I have put a light bulb here that is actually to represent like a simple I as well. So this is what a little bit of what creativity is all about. Like you have to be extremely observant, like so you need to be curious, right guys? So when you're curious, you will suddenly see this how like when you're with the curiosity, you will come up with your own creativity. So myself, I came up with a kind of a I call it my own kind of a theory. So let's see how it will involve. Okay. Now this one. What kind of symbols you guys can see? I mean, people needs to answer.
There is a question mark, and tick mark, an arrow, eye, and another circle.
Okay, so question mark is correct. What about the? Then there is a tick. Okay. Then there is the eye.
Just eye, arrow.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, not bad, not bad. What's your good name? Khan, right? Khan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Khan.
Keep the mics on, guys. No problem. In this one, it's all about being open. you can't.
The surrounding is noisy. That's why I
Right.
moved it.
That's fine. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. So here, if you look at this closely, this is actually a magnifying glass. This is a question mark. Yes. This is a tick. This is a share button, and this is an eye, a human eye. Now you might be wondering, what is this? I call this as OR task. O R T A S. Observe, research, you think, you apply, and you share. Now, you might be wondering, what's the connection between the symbols which I just showed you and these 5 letters? Well, observe is the eye, research is the magnifying glass, think is the question mark, apply is the tick, and share is the share button. So if we go once again, observe, research, think, apply, and share. I call this as, so when everything happens when the whole thing happens, I call this as the creative cycle. And this is when a sudden, like a really good creativity can be born, right? So again, I'm going to ask you guys a question. I have purposely used a color in the way of showing, like, there is a particular color that I have used where to come up with this whole this concept. Can anyone guess what that color is?
Is it blue?
Yes, Sumu, it is blue. You're correct. So here what's going to happen is, once you observe, you need to share. And when you research, you need to share again. When you think, also you need to share. And when you apply, you need to share again. So when a creative product was being born, and when you share it, it doesn't end there. Again, you observe that product or that creative aspect, and then you come up, and then it goes on and on. So this is how I come up with my creativity. Like when I come up with one creative, I again observe it, I do a research on that. Again, I think, I then apply in a different way, and then I share it again. So, so let's go one by one. What is observing? Okay. So everyone knows this logo FedEx. Can anyone guess there is a hidden symbol that is hidden? on this logo? Can anyone guess that? Can anyone see? Guys, speak up, guys. There is a raised hand, is it? Yes, Sumo, go ahead.
I can see an arrow between me and X.
Yes, correct. And so this is yeah. So FedEx is actually Federal Express, and this is this symbol, the arrow symbol. It has been done purposely, and the meaning behind this arrow is moving forward. So what about this one, Amazon? Why there is like a kind of a smile with an arrow with A and Z? What do you think? What's the meaning behind it?
It means you can find anything.
By all of the things. A to Z. A to Z you can buy in.
Yeah, correct. So from A to Z, that's the whole alphabet. They have all the products from A to Z, and they actually bring a smile to their consumers and the customers. Great. Okay, what about this Toblerone, the chocolate? Any guesses?
I thought there was no idea, but the chocolate shape is like that. Toblerone chocolate shape like that. Rectangle shape.
Right. What about the mountain? Can you see something in the mountain?
Beyond the mountain.
Yeah. So this mountain is actually, they call it the Bear Mountain. And that's where they make the Toblerone chocolate. And Toblerone, there is this hidden bear. That is because there is honey inside the chocolate. So to represent that, they have used that sort of a hidden symbolism. Okay. So if anyone had guessed what's the meaning behind this Toyota logo, this is Toyota logo. This is how they have done it in a very subtle and creative way. So this is all about observing. Now we are going into research. Nowadays, how do you guys research? What are the platforms we use for research?
Mostly we are using search engines.
Right. So Google. What else? What else, Khan?
One way to do that is, Eranga, I do a lot of crowdsourcing also. I mean, when you post something and maybe
Right.
on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you can run a poll or you can just ask people. Crowdsourcing is another way of researching as well.
Right. So Prashant, here I am actually I'm talking in the perspective of creativeness,
Hmm.
like how to get inspiration and all. So
Right.
that's yeah. So here you can use YouTube. You can use Pinterest. I actually use Pinterest a lot to get inspiration. And then when we say Meta, it's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and yeah. So those are the main key ways of inspiring to be like to get an idea, like uh, if you are like trying to think of ideas, how to do it in a different way. So I highly recommend Pinterest for in visual aspects. Google is, everyone is using Google. Google is very open kind of a perspective. And also YouTube, here we can get a lot of inspiration in video perspective. And then also Facebook, Instagram, it's all about you can again it's all about images and videos and whatnot. Yeah. And now we are coming into the metaverse as well. So those kind of if you're thinking about making digital creations and all, so that's where you can use Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. So think, how can we think? So the famous Albert Einstein, he says creativity is intelligence having fun. So when you think, don't think that, okay, this is a crazy idea, but it's a line between the craziness and it's a fine line. So don't ever think, oh my God, it doesn't make any sense. Just go for it. And like uh, Stanley, right? He says that if you believe in your idea, you know, no matter how crazy that is, just keep on doing it. And I think that's how Spider-Man was born, and then that's how Marvel was born, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And what happened next. I don't need to even mention all of that. So, with that, how has people applied creativity? So, Steve Jobs from Apple, he's like one of my icons, uh, my role models. And then Walt Disney is like, he is, before Steve Jobs, Walt Disney was my biggest role model. And then Richard Branson, he do like way crazy stuff. Like he's now even uh, sending people space travel, like space tourism. Sorry, we never thought of such a tourism, right? And then the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe with it started with just one movie, and now it has evolved into such an extent. So here I'm going to delve into a little bit of what, especially in regarding Disney and Apple. So uh, when Steve Jobs, so he actually founded Pixar Studios. I hope you guys know about Pixar Studios. They are the first animation studio who came up with the CGI uh, cartoons regarding that's the Toy Story. So, and Steve Jobs was one of the pioneers of funding the Pixar, and he saw how creativity is important, and he he brought creativity into Apple. Before that, uh, he like, and with that, we know what happens to Apple next. So, like, if people who have an Apple calculator, so in Disney movies and cartoons, there's a thing called hidden Easter eggs. A hidden Easter egg where this is now, we call it like multiverse and all of that. So in a Disney cartoon, there are hidden references where they have brought up different characters from another cartoon or from a it's all like interconnected together. So something like that, Steve Jobs also do for his products, and we call it hidden features in Apple products. So if you look at if you have an Apple uh, in the calculator app, there is no backspace. However, if you swipe it to the left or right on the display, the backspace will work. So what what then Apple does is, like, initially when a new product comes, they always incorporate these hidden features, and maybe in another year or two they reveal it in openly. But then sometimes people find this, and then on YouTube they put hidden features of Apple. So it's user generated content itself, because Apple never have tutorials, or they don't do videos. The only video that they do is when they during the launch. That's it. After that, it's all user generated content, and this is why they are so powerful, because people get so into that, and with that, like, see, it's a very small thing that they do, right? But this is how powerful these brands have become. It's not only about they are having money. They have money because they have this creative intelligence, and this is what Sri Lankans lack. And I hope that that we need to incorporate this when we are going, especially with this whole resurgence in our country. We are now trying to build up again. So that is regarding Apple. And then when you come to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in 2008, Marvel took a gamble where they brought Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and at that time they were about to get bankrupt, and they said, so let's make this Iron Man movie. They only paid Robert Downey Jr. only $25,000. That's it. For his co-star, they paid more than RDJ. So, and then they came up with this very like extremely, it was very risky movement, where they brought this MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they showed that only at the end. We call it end credits, post credit scene, where they showed that Avengers will be coming. So it was another very risky movement, because usually people have then left by that time. But then with that, we know what happened next, because after 2008, he was paid only 25,000. 2019, when the Avengers Endgame, they paid RDJ around 25 to 50 million. So yeah, so that's That's the power of creativity. And regarding a little bit of Marvel, the details that they go into. So in one movie, 2000 Iron Man 2, there were in one movie there. So with RDJ, with Tony Stark and Peggy, they take a picture, and that picture is being framed, and they show that movie. They show that that small framed picture on in the Avengers movie. The frame goes like this. But this is how they are so into it, and people are making movies regarding this. Hidden features of this movie, hidden features of that movie. So again, people are rewatching and rewatching. So this is how. So this is what we also need to do, I think, in our own way. And then regarding share. So this is the last one. So again, what can you see here? Can anyone guess? There is a pattern if you look at this closely. Anyone? Okay. So this, we call it a rota square. This was done, this was actually found in Pompeii when the whole city was burned by the volcano. This is, they call it a palladrium, where if you look at this, so SATOR, Sator, and when you go back again, it's rotas. AREPO, again when you go back, it's opera. TENET, again if you go back, it's TENET, tenet. Then you will see again OPERA, opera, and arepo, ROTAS, SATOR. Again, if you go up and down, the same four words will come. So it's when you go from right, rotas, opera, tenet, arepo, sator. Rotas, opera, tenet, arepo, sator. You must be wondering why I'm showing this. Well, this was how this movie was made. In the sense, this movie's inspiration was for that, was taken from that square. Prashant, did you watch Tenet? Prashant? Okay. So this is another example. I hope you can hear. Can anyone guess?
I think we didn't hear the sounds. You have to share the
Is it?
sound. Yeah. Sorry, Ma, I couldn't unmute when you asked the question last time. Just share your
No worries.
audio because we couldn't hear the sounds.
Yeah, actually, it was not, rather than the sound, it was more like there was a visual. I hope people saw it. Let's see. Did anyone notice something? So this is the prologue of Jurassic World. This was, if you watch the movie in theaters, they didn't show this, but on YouTube they showed this as to like it was like a prologue, and like 5-minute clip, and this is how it started. And sorry, and if you look at this closely, they have made that very famous symbol of the dinosaur in skull in an Earth perspective. You guys can see? Prashant?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. So see guys, like this is the level of creativity that when such it's people, they go into these stuff, it is because to get people's brands top of the mind record. So when it's a very subtle thing, like this frame doesn't even be there even for like 2 to 3 seconds, but then maybe in another couple of it's these very small things, but you know, small things matter. Okay, and let me tell you as to why small things matter in this life. So we all know that Disney made these cartoons, and then somewhere in the timeline they make the same one in live action movies. Can anyone guess what's the purpose behind this? Can anyone want to take a chance? Okay. So these movies are happening during somewhere, let's say it starts somewhere in 1980s. And now all these movies, I mean the people who have watched these movies are now their parents. And then with that, it's that nostalgic feeling that they want to show these cards, they want to enjoy these, uh, they want to relive their childhood, yeah, with their kids. So technically, the target audience is the parents. It is us. It is technically us, but however, now we have our own children. So with that, they are. That's why it is not only as it is not only because that the technology is now advanced and now they can make live action movie. No, it's not only because of that. It's because the target audience. They wait till the target audience reach that moment and then they release. So they started with Cinderella, because if you look at the Disney timeline, the first animation kind of the cartoon was Snow White, but they never made Snow White because Snow White came in 1950s, and at that time, not uh, not no, the target audience was not born at all. Like, you know, that it was our it was our mothers. It was so they are not targeting that audience. And with that, there's another. So even here, Spider-Man is owned by Sony. However, the distribution is done by Disney. All this is connected because of this, the merchandise. The merchandise, so in Spider-Man, the agreement, see, Marvel used to own Spider-Man, but they sold the character to Sony. And the clause is they need to make a movie every 2 years, otherwise it goes back to Marvel. So that's why we all have we come across this Marvel, I mean Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and then Spider-Man 1, 2, and now Spider-Man 1, 2, 3 again. So likewise. But then when Disney bought Marvel, they said to Sony, we don't want a single penny of the tickets, but we need the merchandise belongs to us, and we can incorporate Spider-Man in any of our MCU movies. So that is the deal. So that's why there is a rift between still Sony and Disney, because this merchandise business, it's in billions. It's I mean, there is no end to this. So this is why creativity matters, because they make very small things and then it balloons up into such products, and it goes on and on, because this cycle never ends, because from this then a next generation is born, then a next generation is born. So then they keep on coming up with new ways of new movies, new type of technology comes and all of that. So it never ends. So this is one of the reasons why Walt Disney buys Marvel, because they know how valuable Marvel is. Now, how can we, Sri Lanka, incorporate creativity into our by looking at the Sri Lankanness? How can we incorporate? So this is how I kind of started my journey itself. This is all about, again, the curiosityness that brought this sort of concepts into my mind. So we all know what the Perahera is, but if I may ask, why do the Vipers go first in the Perahera? Wants to take a guess? Or you can even type it on the chat box. Okay. So it's so you know that when the Perahera happens, it starts raining. So the Perahera is actually a symbolism of coming of the rain. All these characters that goes, they are elements of the rain. So in rain, what comes first is the thunder. So the Vipers represents the thunder. The fire dancers represents the lightning. The elephants represents the clouds. And the sound of the drum represents the sound of the rain. And the Karanduva represents the harvest and the prosperity. And after the water cutting ceremony, the monsoon starts. So this is what actually the Perahera is. And so when I saw this, I was wondering, how can we take this to the world? So like this is a huge narrative, like a storytelling. We can't do it in pictures. It have to be a very visual perspective. So I thought of actually Arimac did this a digital person experience. So then I thought, why can't we do a digital Perahera? So this was one of the concepts I told Arimac. So this still haven't happened though, unfortunately due to our country's situations. But I hope that this will happen one day. So here I am talking about a computer-generated environment of the Perahera, where the whole it's a motion sensor where Perahera is not coming towards us. We go towards the Perahera. So when we go one step, we will see the whippers, and the whippers will turn into the thunder, and then we go one step further, then the fire dancers will turn into the lightning. So likewise, it's going to be very experiential, and anyone in the world can watch this, can understand it, because the live streaming is good. But if you look at in the sense of how many people, around the world, how many people can understand, like in language perspective, like into how many languages we are going to translate. Here it's all visual. You don't need a language. So that with that, I used to be a cabin crew at Sri Lanka, and I saw this our arrival card. So I was wondering in 2014, like, how can we take this Perahera story to the world? So if you look at this arrival card, the name Sri Lanka is missing. And then I thought, okay, so this was the previous arrival card of Sri Lanka. And then this sort of the augmented reality comes, the technology. And with that, I thought something like this, where this is a postcard attached with the arrival card, but this is not going to be a normal postcard. It's going to be an augmented reality postcard, where when we scan the picture, it becomes a video. So that's where the Perahera story can be taken to the world. So this is just one way of I looked at how we can take tourism to the world. Again, it's if you look at if I take back, it's what I have done is that ORTAS. I observed, I researched, I thought, and then I applied, I shared. I then again thought about it again. So that's how I come up with my creativity. So this is another inspiration. So before the concept, here what I saw was, so every day in Pinnavala, the elephants cross the road to go to the river, right? And we see here, so this sort of a thing happens. I mean, if you look at like almost 4 times a day, they cross the road from the same point. at the same time. Almost 80 elephants cross the road. So such a phenomenon, does it happen? I highly doubt anywhere in the world. So here we have yellow crossings for the humans. I thought, why not for the elephants? Where we have yellow elephant footmarks on the road. So this becomes the world's first elephant yellow crossing. And then here, I propose this to the RDA, Road Development Authority. They even developed this. This was the planning that they did. And here again, I didn't stop. Then I thought, okay, how can we take this further? So if you look at this elephant corridor, which are when we go to Yala, Haparana, Vilpattu areas, this is only a board that we see, right? But more than that, we can easily put yellow. Now in Pinnavala, it's the yellow lines, but here I am talking in a aspect of we can easily paint an elephant on the road to show that there is a elephant crossing is ahead. If we had done that, there's a possibility that the famous actor Jackson Anthony would have survived that elephant crash, because the board is not that visible when, especially during the night when the vehicle goes at speed. But the moment you see a symbol on the road, you will slow down, right? So I hope this will happen. I mean, one day. And then I didn't stop here. I even went even further. So this is, we call it geofencing. It's where it's not a physical fence. Here, what's going to happen is through an app, we pin the location and then we do a geofencing. It's a virtual fence through Google Map. And then through the app, when we come to one of these zones, we will get an alert saying, you're coming to one of these zones, you need to slow down. So yeah. So now I'm coming to the executions I have done. This is actually the first execution I did for the LPL T20 regarding. This was the first edition in 2020. So this is this technology is called Spark KR, that is found that is owned by Facebook. And through that, what I wanted to do was to show, because we are at that time we couldn't go to the stadium to cheer the teams. We can wear these virtual masks and cheer them. And then, so then once I did that, I did this for a UK client where I actually found it via Clubhouse. So it's all about networking, and I actually wanted to tell you that sharing is very important. Share, like it's like if your mind is like a water bottle, it has to be open. Otherwise, the knowledge you will be having, you're not going to gain, or no one is going to receive. So it needs to be open, and it needs to have a base. So you need to know exactly what you're talking about, and you need to have a good education background. Yes. But after that, you need to poke holes. So it's like you're not, because the more you share your knowledge, the more you're going to get. Because if you because the water bottle is never going to be empty, because the more, when you keep on sharing, you will be more thirsty, right? So you will start researching, you will be observing. So here what I have done, it's all about, I keep on sharing with people. So just like here, right? The more when you keep on sharing, you will the I mean the universe itself will give you more knowledge. So this was one of the last things I did before I joined my company, Whirlpool. So here, Cinnamon actually hired me as a freelance creative director. So I gave a concept. So what they want was to highlight this Nuga tree, the Nugagama tree, which is located at Cinnamon brand. So I told them, let's use a drone perspective. So this is how I did the storyboarding, and this was how the execution happened. So yeah, so thank you. And I hope, I think I did it by 1 hour. And any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Eranga. That was quite inspiring as to how you have practically applied what you explained as well. So if the audience has any questions, we are open for that. Until we get any questions from the audience, just pick your brain on this, Eranga. Do you think for an individual to be creative, you showed a very scientific process kind of a thing of your task model, but do you think it should be there in your genes, or can anyone be creative? What do you think?
No, anyone can be creative. It's just that, see, the thing is, we try to be someone else. We think if we ask more questions, someone might say, "Oh my God, that guy is a real pain in the ass." If you have a question, you need to ask. I mean, otherwise, how are you going to get that answer? And then with that, you become someone you're not, and slowly but surely, you will be using that creative, because that curiosityness, you will be diminishing yourself, because you feel, no, kahan no, it no, that's fine, because I mean, no matter what someone says, if just believe in yourself, right? If you look at other people, Steve Jobs' famous quotes, right? People who think that they are crazy are the ones who change the world, right? So just be crazy. I mean, not in a literal perspective, but just be yourself. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
If there's any questions from the audience, we can accommodate. If not, we can call it a session. We have a couple of programs happening next week as well. We have one session with the Simple Books team. You might have followed Simple Books, and we have one session with Simple Books next week on their success story, right? So on their success story, we have one session, and also fintech is a newer area that is coming up. So this is the Simple Book session that is happening next Saturday. Also, we have one session with Dr. Samila Fernando on fintech, right? So invite you to look forward for those two sessions and join with us as well. So Eranga, thank you very much for joining with us and sharing your thoughts. We hope to connect in the future as well with some insightful as well as inspiring session like this. So audience, thank you very much. Have yourself a pleasant evening. Asia Cup is happening, and we wish the Sri Lankan Lions, Sri Lankan cricket team, all the very best as well. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Prashant. Good night, guys. Thank you.